So, as I mentioned, this is the Vortex Championship Series. It's the playoffs. I'm Madals, and we have got two awesome players duking it out in front of our very own eyes. It is the semi-finals after some group stages, so it is the playoff stage. The two semi-finals, they're going to be best of fives, with the finals coming up after them, a best of 7. Now, King Sejong Station is going to be the first map this evening, and spawning down in the lower right hand position, representing Vortex, it is Hantypen. And his opponent, up to the top left, the blue Protoss player, also representing Vortex, it is Askaria. So, a nice little bit of TvP. I'm very much looking forward to this. TvP is one of my favorite matchups. I think it's got a great dynamic coming through it. A lot of different stages to the game, and I think the early game is probably one of the most interesting points, and that's a lot seeing how greedy a Protoss player is going to be and how aggressive a Terran is, and that's really what we're seeing more at kind of the top end of players. People will be doing everything that they possibly can as a Terran to try and knock off what a Protoss player ideally is trying to achieve, because they can be absolutely insanely greedy. So you want to try and avoid letting them get up, say, the one gate into the Nexus, into a robotics facility sort of opening, and perhaps cause a bit of trouble. Sometimes you'll also see Protoss players go for some minor harassment early on. Quite often the Oracle will get seen, and that's because of its high mobility. You're able to come in, harass, and just get some good scouting information and prevent a Terran just getting a little too overconfident or trying to get too greedy themselves. Now, in terms of an opening, we have got a Rax into a gas here from Hantypen, so he's going to have a decent amount of gas coming through. Did only recently side up and is adding in a second barracks now, so going to be keeping a look to see whether we're getting Reapers or just a lot of Marine production for the moment. But over on Askaria's side, we do actually have the second gas now coming in, as well as that cybernetics core, so neither player opting for a quick expansion, instead both of them wanting to make sure that they stay on the safe side of things, not wanting to do anything too crazy. Of course, this is a map which Blink can be quite useful on from the Protoss side. There's a decent amount of cliff area around these sides where you can actually come and Blink on up and get some damage down, so maybe looking to get on the safe side of that. With the Tech Lab coming on in, we may be seeing some early Marauder play, and that can definitely be incredibly scary, especially if we don't see a Mothership core out with a decent amount of energy on it. Come on into some big problems, especially if you do get the concussive shell, which Hantypen is going to be going for. So, a nice little infantry move out, nice and early coming from Hantypen here. Meanwhile, Askaria adding in the Stalker. Not really doing anything crazy yet, no massive signs of tech, although it's worth noting there is already 200 Vespian banked on up. May see a sentry if the safe play is decided from Askaria. That would definitely help up against the opening that Hantypen is going for. But it could also be a little proxy, because we do have a pylon over on the right hand side of the map here. Stargate is certainly something that we could be seeing. This is a very common Stargate position, and this little probe dancing around is ready for it. Down it goes. Is it going to be an Oracle? Almost certainly from this position, an Oracle is the most likely thing that we will be seeing. So we've got to be keeping a lot of fun and a lot of close note down from what all this is going to be happening. Anyway, second Stalker getting Conaro boosted through. 2 additional gateways also on their way. This Stargate, though, could do a lot of damage as 2 Marauders and 4 Marines start their journey across King Sejong Station. Concussive shell is finished. Stim is now being researched, but there's not a chance that it'll be done by the time this push comes on in. But the Mothership core, not enough energy for a photon overcharge. So these 2 Stalkers and the Zealot are going to have their work cut out. Warp Gate tech is nearly finished, but it's not done yet. The Stalker's about to get a bit of a bad point. Will get themselves caught. Concussive shell is now seen. 1 Stalker already goes down. A Zealot is going to be sacrificed for the cause. 1 final Stalker needs to be very careful not to get clipped by that concussive shell. Just manages to get away thanks to that high ground positioning, but now the problems are already on. The Mothership core is there with 94 energy, nearly enough for a photon overcharge, but already that little move in did a good amount of damage. An Oracle about to pop out now for Askaria, going to be trying to get into the main base, going to be trying to get a bit more damage down. And what is the Marine count at? Well, there's 9. There's the 6 Marines needed to be able to beat this Oracle in a head-on fight. Is any damage going to go down first? A couple of SCVs are taking damage. The Oracle engaging upon those Marines, just managing to back away with 10 HP. It racked up 4 kills. It is still alive, so it can still do some more damage later if it's able to get that far. Engineering Bay, of course, now down. A missile turret could get created. We've got the second Oracle coming in, as well as a couple of Stalkers pushing on forward. This is still a one-base play from Askaria, whereas Hantypen has got his natural base, although how long he's going to be able to keep that, we've got to keep an eye on. Couple more SCVs getting taken down, 6 in total. One Oracle will fall, the second one's still able to stay up. The Stalkers at the front, one of those dies. Overall, the losses on both sides are pretty equal at 700 to 750. Hantypen and Askaria duking it out at the natural base of the Terran player. And these Marauders really digging out a lot of damage, really helping in this engagement. Although with only one left, the Stalkers are just going to be able to tip this fight into their favor. A few more SCVs going to be feeling the wrath of these Stalkers as a couple more warp on through. The Mothership Core, that's on its way too. A couple more SCVs getting pulled. Just going to try and buffer up some of this damage. 2 Marauders, 2 Marines. Is it going to be enough against these Stalkers? Hantypen hopes it will. But Askaria already microing back. Will lose one Stalker there. The resources lost now favoring Hantypen just slightly because of those Stalkers being so expensive. A bunker going to try and come on down, although the Stalkers may have something to say about that. The Mothership Core shooting away very nicely, getting more damage on through. The SCVs not faring too well. The Workers kill count now up to 16. The natural base is being forced to lift up into the main. There's one Widow Mine waiting at the top of this ramp, but a Stalker going to get sent in first, minimizing the damage that can do. The natural base now for Hantypen will land. It's on fire, slowly burning on down. But the Stalkers, they're pushing through. They want to end this. They focus down a couple more units. A few more SCVs are going to die. The Mothership Core falling to the missile turret just to the south of the screen there. But still, more Stalkers on their way in. There's the GG. There's the well played. And Askaria is going to be able to take game number 1 of this best of 5.